When you guys, yeah. Wow, how nice. Where in Arizona does your family live? Oh my goodness, what a blessing. Have you been to the desert? Do you like it? Yeah, for sure. Well, I think sometimes when we think about moving closer to family, we miss them and we love the idea. But when we actually get there, we're like, wait a minute, we miss where we're from. Let me ask you this. If you were to get the price that you guys have it listed for now, or even close, do you think you would be in Scottsdale by now to move? That makes perfect sense to me. Well, Ruben, just by you saying that demonstrates why it would be a good use of our time for us to get together. You know, I'm not sure what kind of solutions your agent gave you other than sharing that the economy isn't great, which I mean, obviously, all of us know that. But did you know that right here in your neighborhood, in the time that you are on the market, I'm looking at the MLS, 83 homes sold at around the same price you're currently listed at? Did you know that? Yeah. Would you like to find out why? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. I agree with you, Ruben. So here's what I'm going to do. I will definitely bring over some information to help you. And is your wife's name Valerie? Okay, perfect. To understand what could have happened and what could be done differently this time. I know that you were listed at 789, which seems to be the right price in your neighborhood. If someone came to you today at 750, would you at least counter it? For sure. Just by you saying that again, it demonstrates why it would be a good use of your time for us to get together. So I do have an opening. I'm completely booked today, but I have tomorrow at 2 o'clock or I have Wednesday at 11 a.m. Is either of those times a time that would work for you and Valerie? Sure. Yeah. When you say a new gig, what do you mean by that specifically? Okay. Oh, wow. Understood. So it sounds like conditions in your life have changed. It's not a matter of, whether or not you could get the price. It's a matter of, hey, do we even still want to go because our life has changed now? I understand that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Okay. Well, I want to be very clear because I did hear you say that, we're not really certain we want to go through the whole process again. There's no process to go through. The only reason for me to come over would be to answer the questions that you guys have so that you could have more clarity when making the next decision, whether it be, this August, like you said, or next year or 5 years from now. Wouldn't it be helpful for you to know which direction the market is going in, what the most money you can get would be, and what you would need to do differently this time? Wouldn't that be helpful information for you all to have? Okay, awesome. So that's my only intention is to be helpful to you guys. So whether it's now or 5 years from now, as long as you kept me in mind, I feel like it's a valuable use of my time. What time do you usually get off of this new job that you just started? 5:30. Okay, perfect. So neither of those times I shared with you would work. What I could do alternatively, and I think this is probably going to be a better solution, rather than me coming over and spending 2 hours with you or however long your last agent spent, let's just have a 15-minute Zoom to answer all those questions. I could actually do today at 6 o'clock. Is that the middle of your dinner hour? It's not. Okay, great. Uh, what is the best email address for you? Okay. 5121. And you said Gmail? Perfect. Got it. Okay. Now, is your wife going to log on with you, or did you also want me to send it to her email as well? You got it. The previous agent you had worked with, was that a good friend of your wife's? Sure. Okay. The reason why I asked you that is sometimes when, say, like a spouse really likes an agent, they're not really going to want to meet with anyone new. And I didn't want to give you the extra job of having to sell me to Valerie. If you'd like me to reach out to her and answer any questions that she has before we get on a Zoom, I'm more than happy to do that. Okay, perfect. And you mentioned that you will be moving to Scottsdale. Now that you've started this new job, has the timeline changed? When do you want to be there? Okay, perfect. So the timeline could either be like June or perhaps October, something like that. Okay. And in preparing for the move, did you want any suggestions on improvements you can make to the home so that you could maybe get the top end of your price range? Okay. Some people just want to know, hey, what's the most I can get without doing a single thing? Other people are like, hey, would paint help me to get an extra 30,000? I don't mind investing 5 grand. So I always like to work with what is important to the client. Does that make sense? Awesome. And I will also prepare a net sheet for you and Val so you can see exactly how much you're going to walk away with after everything is said and done. You mentioned that this is very important to your retirement. Do you have any mortgage left on this home? Okay. What is that amount? Oh, wow. A ton of equity to protect then. Great. Got it. And being that you do have so much equity in the home, I'm pretty certain you're going to tell me no, but I still like to keep options open to serve you better. Are you at all interested in acting like the bank and holding the note for the next buyer and perhaps allowing seller financing? Or did you just want me to get all of your cash out? Okay, perfect. I made a note of that. Is there any scenario in which renting the home or keeping the home as a second property makes sense for you and your family that you could still move to Scottsdale? No, we need to sell it. Yeah, there's nothing more fun than getting 3 a.m. phone calls, huh? I'm with you. Okay, great. Now, I've asked you a ton of questions. I do appreciate it. This is enough for me to get started and have all that information ready for you and Valerie. Do you have any other questions for me before we meet tonight on Zoom? Okay, perfect. Now, provided that everything makes sense and you and your wife both feel supremely confident in me and my staff's abilities to get your home sold, are you open to the possibility of working with us, whether it's now or in the future? Okay, great. Well, I do appreciate the opportunity and I look forward to seeing you tonight at 6. Thank you. Bye bye. All right, next. If y'all have any questions, drop them in the chat. There's a lot of downtime between calls. Tiffany, I am not that good. I am 5 years into practicing my scripts 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week, and making thousands of phone calls. You should have seen when I first started. I would be like, hello. It gets easier the more you guys do it. And the more you kind of get used to what people are going to say, the better you get at handling their objections. So that particular person, that was more of a condition than an objection. They were going to relocate, their home didn't sell, and then they went and got another job. Janelle, I started with Mike Ferry scripts, but the more I started making calls, I tweaked the scripts into what worked for me. You're going to find that the more you make calls, when you say a certain line, it doesn't work, delete it. Just get rid of it. And then certain lines that you say them, they work every time. Use those every time. And now that we're calling against AI, we have to be really careful to be human. So like AI is pre-programmed to say things that every realtor says, it's super scripted. So when you're calling people, instead of just being like going on to the next question, really like talk to them about what's important to them. I don't know if you hear me, but like I make jokes with them. I try to get them to laugh. I ask them more questions about what it is they're doing. And that's because I want them to know that I'm not AI. I'm a real person. Most of the battle is getting past the first 2 lines. Generally, people are like so tired of hearing from realtors. It doesn't matter what you say. They're like, leave me alone. So if you know you got the right person and the right number, just call them back later. It's nothing about you or what you said. It's just they're tired of getting 100 phone calls at 8 a.m. So I'm calling expireds. Any questions you guys have for me, drop them in the chat. As you guys know, I love Zoom. Hi, is this Sunita? Have you gotten a lot of calls today looking for Nasir and Sunita? I would love to make that stop for you. Not sure how your number got connected to these folks. I see you're not even in Dallas. Do you have any idea how I could reach the homeowners at 3541 Wardy Place in Frisco? Yes, ma'am. I'll do my best to find them. Thank you. Have a great day. Wrong numbers, totally normal. I see a lot of newer prospectors arguing with people like, you know, it's you. That's not going to work. Just be kind to them. You know, think about it this way. Would you like 100 people calling you at 8 a.m. on Monday and they're talking about some house you've never heard of? A lot of them are scared. They think, oh no, is there some scam going on? What happened? Is my number on the dark web? So just do your best to be like helpful to those people. Sometimes they're actually related to the homeowner or they're like a previous tenant of the homeowner, and you can help them to get their number removed if you can get in touch with the right person. Hi, Martine. So I use the Enso dialer now too, which is really amazing, but for some reason I can't be on Enzo Dialer and let you guys see me live. I'm still calling on Vulcan just so you could see me. And the numbers are good, but it takes a long time to get through to people. So if you are, good morning, if you're a prospector, I would definitely suggest upgrading your dialer to a multi-line so that you can talk to more people. I have not figured out how to go on Enzo. Oh, what's up, Ruben? Ruben's such a great role play partner. If you guys need a role play partner, he's awesome. Strong agent out in California. If you need to talk to more people, like clearly when I'm on Vulcan 7, I don't speak to enough people, definitely upgrade to the Enzo Dialer. You can use my name for a small discount, and it will help you to talk to a lot more people. So in between conversations, this is a great time for you guys to drop questions you have about how to prospect, about dialers, about what to say, how to say it. I'm doing this to help you to get over your fear of call reluctance. See, like it's not hard. A lot of people are so worried, like, oh my God, what if someone sees me get yelled at? Like, it's okay. It's totally okay. If I can prospect on Instagram Live, you can prospect in front of no one. You can absolutely do it, guys. I have the Zoom going in the background. How do you get through the first 3 minutes? Yeah. So usually like your first call, you should make your first call to a lead follow-up or someone you're already friendly with because it helps you. The hardest call to make is your first call. So I usually like to make my first calls to like past clients, centers of influence, and then go on to expired so that I'm like warmed up. They're not going to be as mean to you, they're not strangers. And then when you do get on the phone, the first two lines that you say are the most important. So I usually like to start with a question that they have to answer. All of the scripts that you guys have, all the scripts that I've been given, it's usually like the same things. I would stay away from saying the same things that everyone else says because number one, they're tired of hearing everything the same. They think that everyone's a robot or that we're AI. And the other thing is they just hang up on you. So you're going to have to find your own opening line that's unique. Somebody's on the phone. I personally like to ask a very simple question. You guys have heard me. Hey, is this accurate that your home didn't sell? And I like to ask it with like, how could that possibly be? Hello, Ken. And I like that question because people like to correct others when they are wrong about their stuff. Like, think about it this way. If somebody asks you, hey, did you lose 5 pounds and you lost 30? You're going to be like, no, I lost 30. If someone says to you, hey, how's the divorce going? And you reconciled with your ex, you're going to tell them, hey, I just reconciled with my ex. It's the same way when calling people, they will love to correct you when you're wrong about their property. So I typically would like to ask a question like, oh my God, your home didn't sell? Oh no, we took it off the market. Oh, wow. Interesting. Why? Just curious. I mean, I'm shocked. At this price in this area, how did this home not sell? And then you give them a platform to open up about all the shit that bothered them. Because think about it this way, somebody failed them, they want to complain. Hello? Hi, Ken? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Would you mind saying it one more time, sir? No list? Oh, okay. Did you need someone who speaks Korean, sir? If anyone knows a Korean speaking agent in Dallas, I got a lead for them. Unfortunately, that is a language I do not speak. People want a platform to tell you about all the things that bothered them. You have to give it to them. That is how you're going to get them to open up. Hello? Hi, is this the owner of 2522 El Cerrito? And you have such a beautiful voice. Do you know how you got connected to them? Well, I would, because what I'd like to do is help you to get removed. Okay, I can see you're upset. So I'm not going to call you again. I'm trying to help you because 1,000 other realtors probably will today. And I can tell you don't want that. Why I asked you for their numbers, because if I can get in touch with the real owner, then we can remove you. So my only intention was to help you, sir. I'm so confused. I hope you do better today, sir. So when people start cussing you out and they're super rude, still try to help them, because a lot of the times they don't know what's going on. And when they start talking to you like all types of FUs and suck this, do all that, just say, okay, thank you. There's no reason to argue with people. No, Martine, I did not say Spanish. I said Korean. We have tons of Spanish speaking agents. We don't have any Korean speaking agents. Yeah. He had such a nice voice too. You know who he sounded like? That guy on The Voice, the country singer. What's his name? That guy had like such a sexy voice. I was like, hey, I'm trying to hit on you. Why are you being so rude to me? Gotta have fun with it, guys. You gotta make it fun. If you're gonna spend 2 hours of your life doing this every day, you gotta make it fun. One of my favorite tools as a woman is to make men uncomfortable. They're not used to it. Julie says, hi, do you do this every day or certain days a week? Every day, Julie. So I don't call the same source every day. Like I call, goodness, I probably call about 15 different sources. Um, there's a lot of different ways to lead generate. And I think that whatever a person is comfortable with is the best way to get started. So like some people who aren't comfortable calling strangers, some of the girls on in our organization here, they don't like calling strangers. They're just not comfortable with it. So they call people they already know. They call people they used to work with. Hey, what's up, Frank? I haven't seen you in forever, brother. Um, those folks feel more comfortable with less resistance. So they'll do lead generation and prospecting that's more comfortable to them. Some of the other people on, Elite Builders, they only like calling expireds because expireds are low hanging fruit. If you were to call expireds every day, you're going to easily list 6 properties a month. You don't even have to be that skilled. Because the thing about expireds is that they've already raised their hand and said, hey, we definitely want to sell this home. So if you call enough of them and you get in front of enough of them, you are going to sell more properties. But some people aren't comfortable because it is a lot of like, frustration because they didn't get their home sold the first time, frustration because they're starting to feel like all realtors are stupid. So it is a little bit harder than, say, calling people you already know, dealing with referrals, doing social media, doing paid ads. Thought I had somebody on the line there. So, as long as you guys prospect 2 hours a day, you're going to do more business. But if you really want to explode your business, you're going to have to, include expireds for rent by owners, for sale by owners, the sources that are a little bit scarier to call. I have no idea who this is. Are you getting calls from realtors? No, ma'am. Okay, it sounds like you probably have had a lot of realtors call you today. I'm guessing that this is not your property and you want to be removed from the list. It's strange. You're like the second person I talked to this morning that said the same thing. Do you have any idea who Antona Wanda sounds like a made up name? Antone Wanda Maganehu is? Oh, strange. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will remove you from my list and I'm going to keep searching for those folks. That's going to be the easiest way for me to have them because they actually have to move your number. I don't know why it would be there. It looks like they're wholesaling the property. They got into some financial trouble. Um, all right. Well, I'll keep looking for them. Other than that, anything else I could do to help you today? Thank you. Bye bye, ma'am. You too. See, just be nice to people. She was like, thank you so much. If I have something, I'll call you. If I had to start over in a new market, what would you do or who would you call? I would do exactly what I did when moving to Texas 5 years ago. Hello? Oh, hi, Michael. Are you Mr. Elliott? Oh, just hang up on me. That's cool. Smile and dial. I can call him back. Sorry, Tiff. Give me 1 second. He heard me talking to you while he picked up and he thought I was like a robot or something. Gotta try this one more time. So if I had to start over, let me leave him a message. When you guys leave messages, keep them super brief. Don't even say you're a realtor. Hey, Michael, I think we got disconnected. Curious to find out if you would be open to receiving an offer on the property at 1654 Greatfield Drive. If I've called the wrong number, please, I apologize. Just delete this message and have a great day. Otherwise, give me a call back. Thank you, sir. Okay, so if I had to start over in a new market, what would I do and who would I call? Great question because I've actually done this. And when I moved from New Jersey to Texas in 2020, I completed 52 sides that year and I did over, I don't know, I think it was like 14 million in business that year as a brand new agent in a new market. I called expireds and I called for sale by owners and then I door knocked just solds. So those three sources are pretty much all I did. And I was very dialed in about who I needed to talk to. If somebody told me they were thinking about it, getting ready to, about to, I would not work with those people. I would only work with people who are like, yes, we have to sell this property. We have no other choice. We're moving to such and such place. Oh my goodness, we need an offer tomorrow. Can you do that for me? those are the people that I worked with. If someone told me that they were thinking about it, just testing the market, not really sure, hung up the phone, moved on, because those were not people who are going to do a deal. The mentality I had in 2020 as a brand new agent with no reputation, with nothing to lose, was I am going to get somebody to list their property with me today, no matter what I have to do. And this was the mentality that I think every agent should have. It's just over a long period of time, it's going to be pretty hard to keep up. You can't really be like that ruthless for 10 years straight. So as your skills get better, like for me, my skills got better, right? In the beginning, I just had to I was talking to 50 people a day. Like 50 contacts a day is a lot of prospecting. I would spend 3 hours in the morning calling, and the calls were almost exclusively to expireds and for sale by owners. And then in the afternoon, I would spend about another 3 hours knocking, and I would knock just listed, just sold, mostly just sold, because just listed is more of a buyer's agent script and less of a seller's agent script. I only wanted sellers at the time. I had a buyer's agent who would do buyer sales for me, and we would go out and door knock together. And the way we would work when we door knock together, because I'm a woman, I didn't really feel that comfortable door knocking on my own, is I would get the sale, and he would get, when that seller sold, he would get their next purchase or their next rental, and I would get 25% of whatever that was. So I would essentially get like 2 deals out of one, and he was just there really as security. He didn't really he did knock, but not like the way, he wasn't converting people and like hustling. I did almost all of that. And it was the perfect situation for getting started. Like, I would suggest if any couples are watching this, that is the best way to work. I love his wife. Me and his wife are best friends. So we're not a couple thing, but I think that having a man and a woman door knock together is like the safest. And I actually think that men need women to door knock because women get the door answered more than men. It's a lot harder for men to get people to answer the door. And like, frankly, most people, if you're going to list their house, it's going to be 2 sales because they're going to have to move somewhere. Some people have another home they're moving into. That's true. But a lot of the times when you're outdoor knocking just sold and you find a neighbor who's like, yeah, my neighbor got 850, I would sell for that. They're going to need a house. And that's going to be one reason why they don't want to put their home on the market. So you have to have a really good buyer's agent that's going to help guide them to a situation that makes them feel comfortable enough to put their home on the market to sell. So if I was to start all over again, I would do exactly what I did here in Texas. I would find a strong buyer's agent that is going to be all in with you, a team with you, someone who doesn't mind working hard, but they don't necessarily want to be the rainmaker, or they don't necessarily want to be the person prospecting. There's a lot of hard workers out there. Like, I think some of you even on here watching, you guys are some hard ass workers, but you don't necessarily want to go out and find the lead. You should be looking for people like me who are actively pounding the pavement every day, because that's a really great partnership. People who are out pounding the pavement looking for leads every day, they need help with servicing the leads. And sometimes they don't have the time to do it themselves. They don't have the right people who are loyal, dedicated, skilled, hardworking to do what it takes to convert those leads. So a lot of the time, somebody like you, who's a really hard worker, that you have a lot to give, you just maybe don't like prospecting, a great situation for you is to find a great prospector who doesn't necessarily want to do all the service of the deal. And that's been like, both of us make so much more money together. I love Kevin. I know I can always trust him. I know that he's never going to do anything that I don't expect. And he knows that I'm always going to feed him business, that the way I'm aggressively out finding deals every day, he never has to worry about going hungry because I'm always going to provide, and we help each other. We support each other. So I think that if you guys are going to start in a new market, you definitely want to find a partner to help you. And circle prospecting does take a long time, Tiffany. I agree. But I really like hitting the doors because it's the best way to farm an area. And it's more of a long term. You're right. It's going to pay you long term. Because truthfully, we don't want to prospect like a crazy person our whole life. Like at some point, we want to have a book of business that pays us. So like now, after 5 years of doing this, I only have to prospect 2 hours a day instead of 6 hours a day because I have a book of 400 past clients and I get a lot of deals from that every year, whether it's them doing another deal, whether it's them referring me to somebody. Out of the 400 people that I have served over the past 5, 6 years, somebody is going to call, probably about 20 to 30 people are going to call me this year and give me a deal. So in the beginning, you have to build your book of business by prospecting and talking to strangers. But over time, you're going to have a book of business that pays you at some point. You just have to build it. And I love circle prospecting. It's the best way to farm a neighborhood. Neighborhoods do not get farmed by mailers. Neighborhoods get farmed by sale signs and face-to-face contact. Tiffany, there's a guy in our group who only calls expireds in San Antonio, and he lists 10 to 16 properties a month. All he does is call expireds. I think he has staff to service it. I want to say he has like 2 assistants and 1 agent. So if you're going to do 10 to 16 listings a month, you can't like think about your time, right? You're spending 4 to 6 hours prospecting. You're not going to photos. You're not placing signs. You're not doing listing descriptions. You're not doing any of that. You don't have time for it. So you have to have staff to support you. Thank you, Janelle. That's what I'm here to do. I'm so tired of the people who bullshit us. Like I see all these, it has to drive you guys crazy. I see so many coaches giving out advice and I'm like, I can clearly tell that you've never actually done that because it does not work. Because I've tried to do what you're telling me to do and it doesn't work. I have wasted thousands of dollars farming a neighborhood by sending out mailers and not gotten a single call. I would never tell you guys to do that. If you want to farm a neighborhood, your face has to be on the sign and the sign has to be on the lawn. Like that's the truth of farming a neighborhood. Hi, Tracy. Oh, they got me with that voicemail. Another great way to farm neighborhoods is people have to get to know you. So let's say you only have 1 listing in a neighborhood that you really like. And instead of you having your buyer's agent or, like a staff assistant host your open houses, I would do them yourself and do them as a themed party. So for example, when I first started here and I needed people to know who I was to take market share, if I got a listing in a neighborhood that I wanted to take over in October, I was doing, I had like a petting zoo. Like I hired this guy who came out with like a llama and a bunny rabbit and like all these little things. And then I put pumpkins all over the yard. I did a pumpkin patch petting zoo. And the sellers loved it. The seller was like, wow, we got more traction from you than, in 2 days than our previous agent did in 3 months. So they were like, and they know I spent money. Like I probably spent between the animals, the photographer to take the pictures for the families, the food, and like the pumpkins. I probably spent like $1,000, but it was so much better than spending money on a mailer because everybody in that neighborhood, like they were like, oh my God, no agent has ever done this before. Look at all the activity you're getting for our neighbor whose house sat on the market forever. And then obviously I sold the home pretty quickly. So now they have a good feeling towards you because you're doing something for the neighborhood, not just taking, right? You're not just, oh, sell my house. You're doing something for the other kids that's fun. And you're getting to talk to the neighbors. They see you face to face. They like you. They trust you. They know who you are now. That's so much better than a mailer or any other nonsense. And then they see that, wow, like she put that home up and it's sold like that because you're a great agent, because you got the home listed at a price that would cause it to sell. If you start doing those things like these invitation neighbors invited open houses like that, and you start spending money on it, you will take market share in whatever neighborhood you're in. We did pumpkin patches in the fall. We did pictures with Santa in around the holidays. We did Easter egg hunts like Easter that just passed. 4th of July, we did cornhole tournaments for the neighbors. And the cornhole tournaments are huge. Kevin is my partner that I told you about, my buyer's agent. He's a retired Marine. So we like partnered with, I think it was Homes for Heroes. I think it was Homes for Heroes or maybe Wounded Warrior. But we did a cornhole tournament where like people from Zillow or whatever that came for the open house, and then the neighbors, they could stay. This house had a pool. It was a really nice house. So think about this, right? Most people come from an open house. They like come, they eat a little something, they look at the house, they leave. They're in and out in like 20 minutes. We were like having a party around this beautiful yard, around the pool, the house that we're selling. And we got people to stay for like 3 and 4 hours for this cornhole tournament. That was one of our best ideas. And then we donated all the money that we raised to I think it was Homes for Heroes. It was like $1,200. It wasn't anything crazy, but the homeowner was a veteran. A lot of the people who came were veterans. It really meant a lot to them. And we didn't do this just to like make people like us. We did it because it's something our heart was into. Kevin is a retired Marine. So things like that can be really successful, but make sure you're doing something that's from the heart. One of the gals that I coach, she's recovered from breast cancer. So she does like a lot of breast cancer awareness and breast cancer like fundraisers at some of her open houses. Almost everyone in the United States has somebody that they love that's been affected by breast cancer. Unfortunately, just the way the statistics are, they typically really appreciate the fact that, there's a meaning behind the party or behind what you're doing. So try to if you really want to take market share and start farming an area, get creative with the events that you're doing and inviting the neighbors. And then also obviously doing it in a way that helps the seller get more exposure for their house. I have to keep making calls, so I'm going to turn the dialer back on. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Drop any questions you have for me in the chat. I also want to be very clear that all of these things that I did were because I didn't have any money. When I first got started, y'all, I was so broke and so scared because, hi, Monica, I'm looking for the homeowner at 615 Arapahoe Drive, Plano. Is that you? Yes, ma'am. I'm looking for the homeowner at 615 Arapahoe Drive in Plano. Is that you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, you have a blessed day, teacher. Bye-bye. Called an elementary school. I should have asked her if she needs to move. Darn. So like I said, a lot of these things that I did when I first started, I got resourceful and creative because I didn't have 2 wooden nickels to rub together. And I can share with you that they worked because I made it. Gratefully so. Tiffany, I used to be like, hello? Hi, I'm looking for Antonina. Thank you. I want to increase my price point. How would you go about doing that? I know that everybody wants to sell luxury. I don't so much focus on the price point. Hello? Antonina? Hello? Ooh. As I do my My commission, I charge 4% on every listing at this point. And all buyers reps. I won't take the assignment if I'm not getting paid 4%. So I'm I'm actually I prefer to take listings between 400 and 750 because they sell faster. And I have found with listings that are 1 million and above, um, unless someone is super motivated for a real reason, they just don't sell as much. And it's for a few reasons I've noticed. A lot of people who have a home that's worth 1.2, they want to price it at 2.2. B, people who have a home that's over $1 million, they don't need the money as much as people who are priced around a half million. So some people, if they have a $1.2 million house and they want to go move somewhere else, they don't actually have to sell that house. So they're going to fight with you. If you bring them like $1,060,000 offer, they're not even going to counter it. They're going to say, "Oh, you're insulting me." So I would focus more on building your skills and being able to really truly help clients so that you can charge 4% on every assignment than I would on how do I break into $1 million listings. Because I found that when I was carrying a lot of $1 million listings, they were like fake listings almost. These people were never going to sell. If I would have brought them a 1.2, I have somebody right now, they're listed at 1.55. I brought them a $1.5 million offer. They said, "We're so insulted, we're not going to counter." That's how a lot of people in those price ranges are. So focus more on the motivation of the seller and less on the price point. And the better you get, the more you're going to be able to tell who's motivated and who's not. I also would suggest getting, oh, I'm sorry, I've called the wrong number. I would also suggest making friends with a top luxury realtor in your area. Because one thing I like to do as a prospector, my referrals are higher than some of my own listings. I have a very strong partner here in Dallas that she's actually a very good salesperson. I've gotten to know a few of them, but she's the one I trust the most. So when I am able to book a listing appointment in a $5 million range, I will do it for her. And the reason why I do that is I don't want to carry something for a year, 2 years. I don't want to be questioned on whether or not I've sold a $5 million home before and have that constantly be something I have to deal with. And I don't want to deal with them asking me for $70,000 in staging and not being certain whether or not they're going to sell. Because this is what happens in like the $5-8 million price ranges. So when I set an appointment like that, I give it to another agent that I have created a partnership with in my local area who sells homes in that price range. And she has no issue dealing with all of those things. And when it sells, I get 35% because that's our arrangement. She gives me a 35% referral. Sometimes my referrals on those deals are I get paid $25,000. That is more than most of my listings that I get paid 4% on. And I like that arrangement because frankly, I don't want to deal with a year and a half of somebody. Some of these people in these price ranges are very, very difficult. I don't know how else to put it. They're going to question you. And like, do you constantly every week want to talk to them about how, yes, you know how to sell, but you've never sold one in that price range yet? It's so annoying. Just give it to somebody else and take your rip. And I'm not spending $70,000 to stage someone's home who isn't 100% certain. My friend will, because she's, she does that all the time. It's a part of her business plan. She actually has built into her business plan over 200,000 in loss. Hi, Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. I'm calling about your home here in Rockwall. Is this accurate that it was taken off the market and didn't sell? Oh, I could see why you would do that. I was shocked to see at this price and your location that it should have sold quickly. Look, okay. I'm so glad to hear you guys made a good decision to serve you better. Did you already sign that agreement with your realtor that you're going to work with? Okay, fantastic. Let me make a note of that so that we don't miss it. Anything else I should know? Did you make any changes to the listing or to the home? I think at 499, you guys seem perfect. I'm sure they'll get it done. Who are you going to work with? Are you working with Marjorie Taylor? Yeah, she's one of my favorite gals, other than myself out there who lists home. So I wasn't sure who you went with. Oh, she's great too. I love Patty. Yeah, I think you're in great hands, Phyllis. My name is Jessica Nelson. I will definitely let our team know that Patty's going to be handling it. And are you offering anything out to buyers at this point, or did you guys just decide it's negotiable? Yes, ma'am. I should have been more clear. I apologize. I meant, are you offering a buyer's agent commission, or did you want the buyer to pay it? I wasn't sure how you and Patty are going to advertise the home. Understood. Okay, great. Well, I will definitely be on the lookout for that. And if there's anything else we can do to support you, just let me know, Phyllis. Thank you. You too. Take care. Bye. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, we do not talk shit about other realtors. We support other realtors, especially good ones. There's generally, in whatever market you're in, there's probably like 4 or 5 people that you know who they are. They get listings over you, or do they get to the listing? In this case, they got to the listing before me. Never talk shit about them. Always be like, you're in great hands. They're going to do a wonderful job, because that's the opposite of what everyone else is doing, for one. And for two, it's like, why talk shit about people who actually like are doing a good job, right? Like, they beat you to it. They did a better job. I really like to speak well of other good agents. I think it's super important. And then I think that it's also important that you say your name a few times so that the person remembers you, because here what sometimes happens. Sometimes that agent, for whatever reason, doesn't sell the home. And in 60 days, they're going to think about making 30 to 60 days. They're going to think about making another change. So you've politely introduced yourself, you wish them luck, you've left a good impression, and it gives you the ability to follow up should that listing expire again. And listings do expire 2 and 3 times. It does happen. This specific property out in Rockwall, to be priced under 500,000, it's shocking that it didn't sell, but I think that it will sell if she's going to list it again with a better agent. Put them on a drip campaign. Your drip campaign should be something that's valuable to the seller, like tips to help them sell, answering a lot of the common questions they have, like why are all these agents calling me? What did we need to do differently? What happened? Why didn't my home sell? Your drip campaign should give them answers to their questions and things to actually help them. It should not be, look at me, I'm so great, I'm the most wonderful realtor ever. That's what everyone else is doing. You do something different. All right. So whenever I have the right number like that, because I'm calling from these like they're like fake numbers, they're vanity numbers, I'm gonna send them a text from my actual real number, and I'm just gonna say, hey, save my number. If there's anything I can do, let me know. Boom. All right. Oh, it's already going, y'all. How many bio leads do you typically get each day? Uh, well, I consider a lead somebody who's ready to sign something today. Sorry, somebody answered the phone. So I talk to I probably get 3 to 4 leads a day from the 25 contacts I make. I'll set maybe one appointment and I'll give out the rest to other agents in our org because some people are going to be a listing, just not right now. So I can give them to another agent who has, goals that are different than mine. But for me, I'm looking for, sorry, someone answered the phone there, but it was a UT Southwestern. So for those people that are ready to sign something today, I'm going to take that myself. And for everyone else, I'm going to give it out to our org. And I want the people that are level 10 motivated. That's what I consider a lead. Some people consider a lead like a 7+ motivation. I just want 10s at this point. I want people who are not going to argue with me on price. They need to get their home sold. They see the value of a professional. They understand the difference between someone who's a professionally trained, highly skilled agent versus someone who just sticks a sign in the yard. And those are going to be the people I work with. I'm not going to work with anyone who's arguing with me about anything at this point in my career. If you are too much hassle at the listing appointment, you're going to be even more hassle throughout the deal. Give them to somebody else and take a referral. How do you find expired listings phone numbers? Do you get a hold of them? Brittany, I've used Vulcan 7. Some of the numbers are wrong. No matter what source you use, whether you're using RedX, ArchDialer, LexisNexis, all of the systems will have some wrong numbers. That's totally fine and normal. But I find that Vulcan has the most complete information here in DFW. I usually get their phone number. I get like 5 or 6 numbers. So if I keep calling all the numbers on the list for a person, I will eventually get the right one. And like, I want to be clear about this. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with people who aren't level 10 motivated. It's just that I have been doing this now for 6 years and gotten my skills to a point where I don't have to put up with bullshit. In the beginning, I put up with everything because I didn't have any skills. All I had was numbers. So if someone had a pulse and they were ready to sign with me, then I would help them. Vulcan 7, you can use my name, Jessica Nelson, and get a small discount. There you go. And I would definitely, if you're serious about making calls, upgrade to the Enzo Dialer. I have to, for some reason, I can't go live while I'm on the Enzo Dialer, so I have to use Vulcan 7 when I go live with you guys. But it's kind of annoying because Enzo Dialer, I can talk to like 5 people in 10 minutes. In Vulcan 7, I talk to like, I don't know, 10 people in an hour, maybe. If I'm lucky. It's already almost 10 o'clock here, which is kind of late to be making expired calls. By now, you should be, by 10 a.m., you should switch your source to FSBOs, for rent by owners, just sold, just listed, whatever, another source. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to do 100 deals. And I have a lot of respect for those people. For me, I'm not trying to do 100 deals. I'm trying to do 40 deals that they pay me a minimum of 20 grand a deal. I am completely happy with that. So the way I have structured my business is I'm getting paid more per transaction and I'm having to deal with less people. So what that does for me, the way I've set up my business, is I don't have as much overhead. Because when you're doing 100 deals, you have to pay at least 2 staff members, if not 3 or 4. For me to do 40 deals a year, I only need a TC. I really don't need much more than that. So I prefer to get a higher pay per transaction than I do 100 transactions. Part of me feels like the reason why people want to say, oh, I do 100 deals a year is not necessarily for the profit. It's for the notoriety. It's so that they can say they do 100 deals a year. Me personally, I want to have a great life. I just want to make good money that feeds my family, takes care of me, helps me get my weave and my nails done. And I'm happy. I'm not looking to be the top agent that's ever agent. How does the buyer's agent react to me making more than them? I don't really give a shit. Why would I care that they can't negotiate for themselves? Great buyer's agents, I will pay them 4% because they're going to bring me a good offer. And the sellers do not care about paying 8% on a transaction if their profit is higher. Well, maybe you should get on the seller side, girl. You got to learn how to negotiate for yourself. I get paid 4% on my buyer's agents too. I do not take buyers less than 4%. And typically what we'll do is we'll ask for 3% from the seller, and then the buyer will pay me 1% themselves. It's just a matter of learning how to negotiate for yourself and knowing your worth. So, like I was saying, the reason why I think it's really important for all of you to get your skills to a point where you can always ask for 4% is because you don't have to do as many deals. And where you're able to make more money doing less deals, you don't have to pay as much staff. You have less people to manage. You have less sellers that are constantly calling you. It's a much better lifestyle for you if you can get to a point where you're making a higher profit per listing. Now, obviously, in the beginning, I'll be candid with you guys. I didn't really know what I was doing. So if someone said, the other guy would do it for 1%, I would take that listing when I was brand new because I didn't know how to negotiate for myself. I was like, okay, I'll just take the listing. It's a quick $5,000. But what I didn't realize back then is that because I was doing so many deals, I had an assistant, I had a client concierge, you have your broker's fee, you have taxes. So when you took that listing at 1%, yes, it's great practice for you, but you have to understand that when you're paying all of that overhead, your profit by the time you get that commission, you're looking at like literally $1,200 to $1,800. So do you really want to do 100 deals or do you want to make a lot of money? That's what you have to look at when you're doing your business plan. Is it for other people to be impressed with you, or is this for you to be impressed with you? These are the questions that you're going to want to answer yourself and ask yourself when you're doing your business plans. And I'm not saying there's some people who do 100 deals a year, like my buddy Jose Luis in California. He's making 30 to 50 on each of those deals. But he's been doing this, guys, for like 15 years, practicing his scripts every day, investing in himself, learning new things, taking his skills to a level where he's an undefeated champion, right? So I'm not saying that doing 100 deals is bad. Mr. Battle? But we have to look at why we're doing it. Are we doing it for vanity or are we doing it because we want to be successful? How do you approach FSBO? Great question. So, Brittany, FSBOs, you want to talk to them like you do your children. Do you have children? Britt, do you have children? Tiffany, you're going to become a seller's agent. Why haven't you joined Elite Builders yet? You're one of us. Definitely get a Calendly going with me because you're one of us. Okay. Britt, do you manage any other people? Like, do you have cousins or nieces, nephews, anyone you've taken care of in your life? Thanks, coach. My coach is on here. Okay, so dealing with for sale by owners. If you've ever had, if you have children or anything you've ever taken care of. Oh, I'm sorry, doctor. Wrong number. All right, I'm going to stop this for a second so you can hear me. Dealing with for sale by owners is like dealing with your children. You want what's best for your children. You want to help your children so that they live successful lives, keep them from making decisions that will be decisions that they cannot come back from. It is the same way with for sale by owners. For sale by owners are like our children that they want to go out and party because it looks cool, but they forget that, if they get caught by the police, their scholarship's going to go away and their life is going to be forever changed. For sale by owners don't understand that they are actually hurting their own values and hurting their own home saleability. So we know that if we tell our kids not to do something, they're going to rebel against us and do it even more. For sale by owners are the same way. So how do we get our kids to behave? We show them and we give them lots of guidance and we help them and support them and we cheer them on. That's the only way our kids are going to listen to us. Our kids do not listen to us when we tell them, don't do this, don't do that. So what does this mean for sale by owners? You're going to ask them a lot of questions to help them think. You are never going to tell them what to do ever. And you're going to give them a ton of support. So I liked, Janelle, I'm with EXP. I'm more than happy to help you. If you want to hop in my DMs, I can send you a link if you'd like to learn more about it. So with my children, with your for sale by owners, you want to ask them a lot of questions, give them a lot of encouragement. You know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I think it's amazing you're trying to do this on your own. It shows you have a lot of courage. From talking to you, you're extremely savvy. I can tell you're going to be a great negotiator. If you knew that putting your home on the market could get you an extra 10 or 20% more than what you could get on your own, is that something you would consider paying a realtor 6% to do? Does 14% in profit help you? Oh, well, how would you do that? You know what, Mr. and Mrs. For sale by owner, I would love to show you, but I don't want to interrupt your plan. How important is it to you to get this sold yourself? Is it something that you just want to be able to say you did? I like to start getting them to sell me on why they want to hire me, because every other agent is saying, I'm king rat. Hire me. I'm the best rat that ever ratted. And the more that those agents do that, the more the for sale by owner puts up this wall and blocks you out. I want to see how motivated they are and how much they actually want to work with me. So I'm going to start doing a lot of reverse selling with them. Is profit more important to you, or is it more important to you to say that you did it yourself? I support you either way. I don't want to interrupt you. Let them answer you. Some of them are going to kind of laugh at the question and be like, well, what do you mean? Well, I don't know. You know, I talk to a lot of people that they don't care if they lose money. They just want to be able to tell their friends and family they did it themselves. Are you one of those people? And some people will like be like, yeah, I am one of those people. Okay, cool. You know what, Bob? Do you, Bob? I'm not going to get in your way. Hey, can I support you in any way? I know every agent's calling you and bringing their brother or their girlfriend to see your property and pretending it's a buyer. I'm not going to do that. I'm a listing agent. So what I could do is, do you already have an attorney who's going to help you with the paperwork? Okay, would you like me to give you a few that you can choose from? Do you already have access to the MLS? There's a lot of cut rate services that you could use that will give you access to the MLS. Would you like a list of those? I help for sale by owners as if they are my children. You know, when my daughter first asked me about like drinking, I said, here, have it. See if you like it. She never drank again. She was like, that tastes like shit. Okay, not that exciting, right? So yeah, you got to talk to him, Brittany. I know that a lot of people like the text messaging, but respectfully, if we're talking to people about their biggest asset in their life, we should be calling them. We shouldn't. I mean, texting is fine for like getting their attention, but once you got it, pick up the phone and call them. What I would tell you about for sale by owners is probably different than every other coach out there. I'm not like a coach who sells coaching courses and stuff like that. I'm just sharing what's real for me because I'm out here doing this every day. If you tell someone how much better than them you are and how much better you're going to do it than they do it, you're never going to have a chance. They're going to hang up the phone, put you on the blacklist, X next to your name. If you encourage them and support them and just give them tools, naturally what's going to happen when they get frustrated, because they all do, they get lowball offers, they have wholesalers calling them, they have people with bad credit looking for seller financing calling them. This is what they're getting. And 101 realtors who have a buyer, the buyer girlfriend of their husband, not a real buyer. So when they get tired of all that and you're the only person that actually helped them and encouraged them, they call you. For sale by owners, I do not push for appointments. I just support. And when they get tired of running themselves ragged and, you know, going around in circles, going nowhere, they tend to call me. And then I can lay out a plan, ask them for what I want. And typically by that point, they're so like, oh my God, just sell this freaking thing already. They're very easy to work with. So for sale by owners is a little bit longer of a process. If you want to have success with them, treat them like they are your children or a family member that you love. You're never going to get anywhere by arguing with them, telling them that you're better than them, you can do a better job. You have to support them, like treat them as if they're a brand new agent, that you're showing them how to sell a home and that you really want to help them. It's a great question. That was kind of a rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, we have a question here on YouTube. Sorry about that. Hello? Hi, is this John? Hi, Mr. Polachek. I see your home came off the market. Is it still a priority for you and your family to get that sold? Have you? I've already got a realtor. Thank you. I'm sure you do. I'm going to call him right back. That's a normal response, by the way. I'm going to call him right back. So that's a $4.3 million listing. That's somebody that I would give to the agent I told you guys about earlier. I'm going to call him back later today. He's just tired of all the calls. Totally normal. All right, I got to get off of this and get on my coaching call with Aaron Novello. What other questions do y'all have for me? Oh, Tom Gavin asked, could you share what you would do differently if you were starting again today? I did, Tom. I would do exactly what I did when I started here in Texas. Exactly the same. What was the lead question when you were at door knocking just sold? All right. Everybody here on Instagram, someone just asked on YouTube, what was the lead question when you were door knocking just sold? It's a great question. When I didn't have money for a dialer, so I started with door knocking to get my first sale. And then when I got my first sale, then I bought my dialer because I just didn't have the money. But what I did is I looked at my office. So the office I was at the time had some luxury sales recently. And I found the best sale that was the closest to me. And I went with a flyer. I printed it out in my office. I probably took like 50 of them. On the front side, it had the information about the home that sold. On the back, it had what looked like a handwritten letter that said something to the extent of, let me get it for you guys. I have it still. So the state of Texas is a non-disclosure state. You can't tell people, you cannot write in writing what someone sold their home for. And if you're in a state that is different, like New Jersey, we're able to disclose what someone paid for a home. So I would actually put the price if I was in New Jersey, but here in Texas, we can't. So what we would write is, what is your make me move price with low inventory and growing demand? Now is the perfect time to sell your home for the highest possible price. Your neighbors over at Blank Street ended up getting a new record for your neighborhood, and there are plenty of disappointed buyers out there. Let's discuss maximizing your value and seeing if this is possible for you. For a confidential conversation, give me a call. All my information is on here. So I rolled this up, put it in the door, knocked on the door, rang the bell, take 10 steps back. And I would say, hey, did you guys happen to see the sign over there in Sue and Bobby's house? Find out in tax records who the clients were, because it seems more realistic that you sold it versus your office. You should know their names because these are their neighbors. If you don't know the names, then you just look it up. Look it up in tax records. It'll be there unless it's under an LLC. But you would say, hey, did you guys happen to see the sign over at Bob and Jane's house? Oh, yeah. Can you believe what they got for it? have a normal like conversation with people as if you're their neighbor. Don't go there like, oh, you're looking for a listing. They're going to be like, boop, close the door. Have a normal conversation with people, the types of conversations that you and your neighbors have. Can you believe what they got for that house? And then typically, because they don't know, they're going to say, what did they end up with? I saw they were on the market at 2.3 million, whatever the price is. Yeah. Oh my God, it's a new record for the neighborhood. They ended up getting 2.35. Can you believe it? Oh wow, that's amazing. You know, I've gotten so many calls about this property, and it seems like people are really interested in our neighborhood here. Let me ask you guys, have you been thinking about moving? And you know what happens? When they're not interested at all, they say, I'm going to die in this house. Oh, we got 20 more years here. Totally fine. You just say thank you. And then you say, yeah, I can imagine why you wouldn't want to leave. It's so beautiful. I love the trees, the park, whatever you could say that's true about the neighborhood. Do you know anyone else who maybe like the kids have moved out, or you've seen them moving a lot of furniture to the sidewalk? Have you noticed that from any of your neighbors? And if they're like, no, and they start being like kind of annoyed, like get away, be like, all right, well, how about anyone you want to get rid of? Anyone you want me to go knock on their door? Make a joke of it, right? Keep it light. Now, that's going to be one group of people. The other group of people, when you're doing a just sold script, and this is how I did the majority of the best deals I've ever done in my life without having to put them on the market, without having to spend money on advertising and all the nonsense we spend money on. Here is the best case scenario when you're door knocking. You put the little just sold thing in the door. You go through your script again. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, did you guys happen to see the sign over there at Bob and Sue's house? Oh, yeah, we did. Can you believe what they got for that house? Oh, no. What did they end up with? They got 2.35. Isn't that amazing? Wow. They ended up with that much? What do you think I could get for my house? Like, drop the mic. Those people are going to sell with you. Now, whenever someone says something like that to you, they're interested in selling. They're either going to put their home on the market or they're asking you to bring them an offer. A lot of agents, they don't know what to do. They go, I need to get my CMA. I don't know. Don't do that. If they invite you in, go look at the house, talk to them, and then ask them what they would take. Now, if that listing was your listing and you did have multiple offers and you did have a lot of agents show it, you go back to every agent that showed it and you tell them you have an off-market opportunity. It's even nicer than the other house. They don't have to fight with anyone, and you put a deal together. Those are like the best. When I tell you they are the best, they are so amazing. You don't have to put it on the MLS. You don't have to pay for photos. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is put together the deal by making phone calls. The other option that you have is sometimes they'll say things like, well, if you could get me that price, then I would consider selling. How does my home compare to that home that sold? And you tell them the truth. Sometimes their home is nicer. Sometimes their home is not as nice. And whatever the truth is, you have to ask them, well, you know what? Your home is quite a bit bigger than that house that sold. And you did do a big renovation on your kitchen, which should command a higher price. The best comp that you have right now is your neighbor that just broke a record. I know that you're waiting another year for your son to go to college, but I mean, the opportunity exists right now. If you could get 2.5, would you take it? Now you have a listing. So you should know the difference between someone that you can put a deal together off market and someone that you're going to get a listing from. And that's only going to happen through doing it. The more you do these just sold knocks, the more you're going to figure out how you can serve the neighbors. Buying signs are, what do you think I could get for mine? Is my home nicer than theirs or not as nice? We are thinking about doing something, but we still have a kid with 1 year left, maybe next year. we're thinking about doing something, but we were supposed to put a pool in and we're halfway through construction and that was another 200,000, whatever. You're going to have a lot of things that happen when you're out there in the field that are buying signs that you should not ignore. That was a great question. Whoever asked that question. Somebody said, Jessica, are you on here most mornings? Yes, Tom, I'm going to be on here for another 79 days doing this. All right. I do have to go because I have a seller calling me right now. What other questions do y'all have for me? Actually, I really got to go. Bye, guys. Love you. Hello?
Hello, this is Amber calling with Open Doors Recorded. Speaking with Jessica.
Yes, ma'am.